we're going to get started because it is 7:10 and we do have a very, very busy schedule. So my name is Meena Dalwani and I welcome every single one of you for joining us today. I'm going to be doing a few things because I'm admitting people as they join in, and I'm also uh, taking care of moderating the entire show. I am the CEO and founder of Destination CEO. I wanted to introduce Destination CEO and its story to all of you very quickly so that you can understand how this entire project started. So Destination CEO started with very humble beginnings. We started 5 years ago um, when I realized that there were a lot of challenges when it came to newcomers and new grads getting employed. We doodled our way into what would this new program or this whole job development look like, and we started hosting our events. We partnered with colleges. Destination CEO was working with different colleges at that time. I was perfecting the entire process at Humber College where I taught. We tested it with Humber College, then we started building other academic institute partnerships with other academic institutions. These are some pictures of Centennial and Humber that we have participated in. We did a lot of events, and this is, as I said, our first virtual event. Usually we have huge events where we invite uh, at least 100 employers uh, with 100 job seekers, so there's always a one-to-one ratio. We also partnered with nonprofit organizations. Some of our biggest accomplishments in the recent years has been helping over 300 job seekers in a span of 8 weeks to get employed by partnering with a number of nonprofit organizations in the North Etobicoke area. We've also partnered with other nonprofit organizations to help them achieve their strategic initiatives, their strategic goals in terms of mentoring, in terms of job development and placement. Then we started partnering with corporations. Businesses would reach out to us and start connecting with us, start connecting, asking us to bring our job seekers towards their organization. So we've done quite a bit of corporate engagement as well. However, when things started happening, we realized that one of the big challenges we were seeing is that only students of that specific institution or a specific nonprofit would benefit from Destination CEO. And that's when, on our fifth anniversary, we rebranded. These are some of the pictures of our fifth anniversary. We rebranded and we started a bridging program. The bridging program was designed to help job seekers. And the first thing we did was we sponsored 50 job seekers all over the GTA region. And we were able to get 80% employed within a span of 6 weeks. And that's where the Express 6 week job search bridging program started. As we started getting into this, we started building it, we started evolving, and next thing you know, we're here, and Corona's happened, and um, we are with you hosting a virtual event. So this has been a very, very exciting journey. Yes, we've had quite a few ups and downs, as everybody does in their career. So Destination CEO's career has also had its ups and downs. But the lesson that we've learned with every challenge that we've faced has helped us to get where we are, and we're only getting started. So we are in our sixth year. We're very excited. We are, um, we brought in a huge bunch. a huge group of mentors who've come together to support this bridging program to help job seekers from all over around the world, from all walks of life, be successful by guiding them, mentoring them. We have a very strong program with strong curriculum. So, here we are hosting our first virtual event. Very, very excited. Have all of our mentors here who've come together to help all of you succeed in your career goals. So that's a little bit about Destination CEO and our career journey. My biggest takeaway that I'd like to give you all today is that dream big, start now. Because if you have a dream and you're not going to start taking action, then it's going to take you 5 years before you even realize that there is some value in what it is that you're trying to provide. I had to get a coach in order to even start believing in myself. And like they say, every master, get a master if you want to work faster, because every master has had his or her own disasters, and that's the experience you learn from. So dream big. I hope that you are going to enjoy this experience. You're going to learn from this experience. You're going to learn from all of these masters that have come together tonight. And now I'd like to give the baton to Mason Khan, who is the creative head, to say a few words.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Mina, and thank you guys for coming out. I hope you have been enjoying the live streams that we've been putting out on the Destination CEO social medias. Uh, you will receive a email. You will receive a survey in your email, consumer, feedback, just to see if you like them, if you've enjoyed the past broadcast. These streams will also be reposted on YouTube. We have a special thing. So take pictures, or if you're able to screenshot your screen of your computer and post it into any social medias and tag at Destination CEO, whether it be on Instagram, Facebook, or LinkedIn, or any other social medias you can think of. And the top 3 posts that get the highest views will have an opportunity for a one-on-one session with one of our Destination CEO mentors. And I extremely encourage that you do, because of these uncertain times, these resources are like gold. So please take advantage of this offer and post away. And again, thank you guys so much for showing up, and I hope you are able to take something good from this. Thank you, Mina.
Thank you. Thank you, Mason. So, Biju, let's give the baton to you now.
Oh, you're muted.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay.
Thanks for everybody to show up. It's a Monday night. I think we have quite a number of people online to kind of talk through this next 2 hours. A little bit about me, about maybe 20 years of experience in helping organizations through business transformation and excellence. I'm really passionate about getting companies, teams, individuals to kind of excel, get their business outcomes achieved, as well as some personal satisfaction as we go. I've worked across countries and geographies, in startups to mid-sized companies to large, to public sector, to private sector, in India, Japan, United States, Canada. So that gives me, I think, a different perspective on what works across cultures. And I think there's lots of commonalities of how things can work in organizations. And in spare time, I'm a mentor and Destination CEO, as well as help a couple other founders jumpstart their dreams. And I'm a firm believer that theory only matters if it actually can be applied for some value creation. So I like to be more practical in things that I do, and I work with people. For me, not just this time, of course, this moment is difficult for lots of people. But in general, job search is difficult, because it's like a hustle game. You have to just be on it constantly. And I think everybody's probably heard that statement that says, looking for a job is also a job, right? And I know Mina in her course of stuff has this limit, this expectation of 50, 20 resumes a week. And if you think about it, 15, 20 applications a week. That's quite a bit of work as you go through it. And then this gets just heightened in this whole exercise that we're today. So my biggest takeaway from here, or my guidance to people listening, would be um, really know what you're about and stop listening to everybody else. That's number one. And number two, just hustle. This is literally a hustling game. Just get up in the morning and just hustle till evening. Reflect, think back, and start over again the next day, and you'll make it. There's somebody for you, some organization there for you, who's going to want what you have to offer. That's what I would say. Sina, you're next.
Thanks, Biju. My name is Sina Foley. I am a HR professional. I've been in the game for about 20 years. Last 10 years, I've really focused on recruitment. I'm very passionate about helping people get jobs. I'm a corporate recruiter, but even if you can't work at my company, I'm really willing to help anyone update their profile, kind of get rid of the little barriers that are in your way that are stopping you from getting interviews, or transitioning those interviews to offers. I think it's really a lot of little tiny tweaks that are what is standing in your way if you're struggling. Since last fall, I've been a mentor with Destination CEO, and it's been a great experience to, one, get to know the other mentors and to meet a lot of people with very different stories. And it's very interesting to meet them. I'm Canadian, and I come from the perspective of what the Canadian market is looking for, and what the profiles and resume format should be, and how we assess candidates. One thing that I'll always you'll hear me as a broken record, is to be very strategic in who you're reaching out to, and building relationships is really key. Networking is a big part of getting a job these days. So really paying attention to who you're adding on LinkedIn, how you're meeting them, how they're adding value, and how you add value to their career as well. So it's always going to be a two-way street. And especially in this COVID era, it feels like everyone's online. A lot of people are working from home. Zoom meetings was not a thing for me a month ago. So there's a really great opportunity for you to connect with people and share best practices, whether it's, tell me about your industry, or tell me about your company, or I'm really interested in your career growth and how did you maneuver. So, hopefully today is an opportunity for you to connect with more people, learn about more industries, and get some best practices. Thanks. Mina.
Alaudin, you're next.
It's me. Hello, is my video on?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, hi.
Hello, how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I can't see anything though. Okay.
You're
my
having
name
technical difficulties, right?
Yeah. Okay. My name is Alaudin Ahmed, and I'm a consultant. I've been doing consulting for the last 25 years across different industries and different countries. Started in Japan and Australia, USA, and Canada. My main passion is to take any organization to the next level. By that, I mean, whether it is designing a new program, transformation program, 1 or 2 years, or whether it is about coaching the leadership or managers to make business improvements. What I love is to connect with people, mentor people, both as part of my work as and part of my hobby. I read a lot. I scribble a lot, but I don't publish that much. That's one of the things that I need to do more. But having worked with multiple global customers, Fortune 500, what I have learned is that is the stimulation that really helps people in the organization to get better and better and make the team better and be as a person also better. So my key takeaways are for today would be that know yourself, find out your passion. That's number one. Know your strength, know your weaknesses, and then know your battlefield. Which battlefield are you in? And that will help you to prepare, to connect with the right people, to prepare yourself, to know the competition that where you are up for, and people are there out to help you out, and you can test yourself. Test the water. So 2 points: know yourself and know the battlefield, and the rest will come along. Thank you.
Thank you. Mark, you're next.
How much time do I have?
3 minutes for now.
Okay. So my name is Mark Blaish, president of TorontoJobs.ca. I've been in the recruiting business now for 25 years in the Greater Toronto area. As a company, we do a lot of different things, including job fairs. We do recruitment, do a lot of other events. So 3 minutes, the world has settled in, I guess, to working from home, obviously, with things like today, Zoom and so on. If you're out of a job, you're probably feeling a bit stressed and frustrated, and more things may be, difficult. But business is down substantially for many businesses. The massive job losses seem to have settled down a little bit. I think maybe we might have another surge maybe after June 11th, which is the end of the wage subsidy time period, but it's hard to know. But if you're looking for a job right now, I guess I would say recommend 3 things. One is to watch a lot of webinars and listen to people who are in the industry, which is obviously those people who are on right now are doing that as well. But listen to what people's opinions are about what's happening in the market and what changes may be in the labor market. Number 2 is, I would say, to build your network, really work on your LinkedIn profile, social media, make more connections as much as possible to continue to grow that, because LinkedIn is the professional network right now where people are really floating around. And then I would say the third point is that the job that you may be familiar with, that you may have had in the past, may not be there in the future, or may be different than it is right now. And the world is changing, and they're calling it the big reset now, where things are going to just change, and that's going to probably affect every company in some form or another. So the job that you had before may change on the flip side of this, and you just got to be prepared for it. So those would be my 3 things I would say right now.
Thank you, Mark. Sumit, over to you.
He's muted.
Sumit, you're on mute.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, thank you so much. No, hi, everyone. My name is Sumit. I'm a wealth advisor looking after high-value clients and ultra-high-value clients and strategize their financial life with our 4 pillars: building their network, implementing tax-efficient strategies, providing protection for their wealth, and helping and creating legacy for their next generation. I'm in the industry for the last 26 years, and I'm working for a big bank here. That's a small background of mine. One of the biggest lessons I learned during my 26 years of journey: never say no, and find a way to make it happen. So when people get rejected that you're not qualified or you don't have a Canadian experience, we hear lots of things, lots of time that we don't have a Canadian experience. I have at least 50 examples, live examples from my mentorship group, that they got a job, better job than they were in back home in their respective countries. So never take a say as no. Takeaway from this, I hope you guys should
look different from the crowd. Extremely important for us to look different from the crowd. If you are from the crowd, no one going to recognize you. Find a way to look different. And there's so many other strategies you can implement to look different. Networking is one. Knowing yourself is one. Know your market is one. And right now, the job you will get who you know rather than what you know. So that's the key words. Who you know rather than what you know is the job. Successful people will get that note. So that's basically in 3 minutes. I don't know how many minutes I have left, but so I want to add regarding my mentorship program as well. We have started this mentorship program, and thanks to Meena as well, she engaged me for this event. So mentorship program we have started along with few mentors here as well. Sandeep is one of them, and we have helped almost 350 individuals, and out of that, almost 100 got jobs through their hard work. We just guided them. So his guidance is huge. As Mark said, people are there to hire you, but you need to find a way to present yourself in a right way. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sumit. And ladies and gentlemen, participants who are joining us now, please start making notes. We are streaming live on YouTube. Some of your friends are messaging me, but if I'm hosting, unfortunately, I can't watch my phone constantly. So please, we do have some openings. There are quite a few no-shows. So feel free to share information with your friends to join us. Thank you. Hope you're making notes. And our next speaker is Wanda.
Good evening, everybody. Very happy to be with you tonight. I have over 20 years of experience in HR. My focus in my career was always in talent acquisition, talent development, and diversity and inclusion. I definitely see myself as an enabler, so to speak. And even though my majority of my career is from corporate environment, and I'm currently working in financial services in HR, I do adapt into entrepreneurship, and it is definitely big part of who I am, having small family businesses or getting involved in different ventures. In terms of my advice, I went through number of stages, as probably many people on the phone, even those who are currently employed, that I was looking for job myself. I was a recent immigrant to Canada many years ago, and I was looking for jobs. So I think as a mentors, we can provide a lot of advice that is based on our experience as professionals, as hiring managers, but as well based on our personal experience. And I would like to encourage you to take all the notes from knowledge-based information you will receive, whether through this networking session or through a session that the Destination CEO is organizing or webinars. Take all the information you can, but having information is just one part of success. You need to layer it with your personal digestion of that information, and you really need to pick and choose. And I think that message came tonight already a couple of times. You need to really pick and choose what fits your situation, your background, your personality, industry, and type of role you're looking for. Some of you will have to revisit type of roles you will be focusing on, whether because of current pandemic situation or new country, new career. See really job search as opportunity for personal and professional growth. It's really is catalyst when you don't have a job and you are making that leap or step to next part of your career. It is opportunity for growth, and that comes through sometimes hardship. It comes through hard work. It does not come just because opportunity, you stumble on opportunity. You need to create opportunity. So that's one big advice that I would like to share, is that you have to create opportunities for yourself. All the resources that are available are small dots. All the people that you meet, mentors you speak to, are little dots that you have to connect. Some will connect easily, some not. But the way how you connect those dots, that's the path that you can create for yourself. So the second piece, be open-minded. I think Mark mentioned that maybe some jobs will not be really on the market due to crisis, due to economic situation, maybe expectations that are different that they used to be 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Development is really going fast speed. So you need to be open-minded and see every opportunity as opportunity to learn and make a building block for something in the future, even if it doesn't look exactly how you envisioned originally. So open-minded, making connections from all the people and informations you are getting yourself, and that all comes with really taking ownership and responsibility for what the outcome will be. It's not just opportunity come your way, but opportunities you create. That's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Wanda. That was amazing. Over to you, Antador.
Thank you very much, Meena, and good evening, everybody. And for the Star Wars fans out there, may the 4th be with you. Get it in there. Look, a bit of an intro about myself, and I'll give you a couple of career advice highlights that I've picked up along the way, and a tangible takeaway. So for me, I'd like to think I have a fantastic role in which I can make a difference and add value in a positive way. I help colleagues, stakeholders, and management to what I call is release the handbrake to achieve their goals and plans to meet their customer needs. And I do this by helping them to manage their risks, to inform their approach, and support their decision making. So my background is in internal audit and risk management. I've been doing this for around 2 decades. More recently, over the last 8 or 9 years, I've been doing that in the financial services industry. I work for the Bank of Montreal here in Toronto. I moved across to Canada from the UK, London, a couple of years ago. So I can relate to some of the newcomers and job seeker challenges that are out there. And I think for me, my experience has helped me to land the role that I'm in currently. And I've gained a number of years' experience across various industries, organizations, geographies. And what I've learned as I've been going along is there's disruption all the way. I'm sure colleagues on the phone, mentors and job seekers alike, I've all heard the change is the only constant we have. And that's so true. It is true. And I think to go a step further, if I think about even a year ago, people were talking about we're living in a dynamic world. And look, in the last 8 weeks or so, we've had such a disruptive situation. We need to be dynamic in our response. The positive attitude, we need to have drive and energy to respond to that. And it just shows that we are adaptable in the way we as organizations and individuals are reacting to the challenges that we face. And I think some of that has to come through with the individuals going about doing the job seeking. And I think already in terms of career lessons that I've learned along the way over the last 2 decades, and a couple of mentors have already touched upon this, maybe 2 or 3 mentors have already touched upon this, which I think is quite key, and it just reinforces my belief. It's important to build relationships. The networking now, in the past that you've developed, new relationships in the future, even if you are in a role, is to continue building relationships. I know it's called networking, but I think sometimes people call it net giving. So sometimes you do need to be able to, it's a two-way street. It needs to be strategic, So I think that is quite important. That's something that I found a lot of benefit in any market that you're in, whichever role you're going for. So that's number one. And the second key thing for me here is career lesson is being positive. People remember how you make them feel. So every interaction that you have, whether it's with another mentor, another job seeker, whoever you meet, I think what you've got to do is have that positivity, and that rubs off. Yes, we all have setbacks, disappointments, and so forth. But I think what you've got to do is keep that positivity, and people buy people. People feed off the energy that you have. So I think it's quite important that you read the situation and you respond in an appropriate way. A tangible takeaway, one item for me, really, and I mentioned this in one of the live streams earlier on in the week, in that there's lots of information out there. there is lots of information. There's a wealth of information that can help you in your job search and success in your life and your careers. And I said in that time, we need to have a responsive plan to apply your resources, your time and efforts to help build a plan. And it doesn't have to be anything fancy, but a plan that you can build that's suitable for you, that will give you the strategic approach to go and land the goal that you need. And I've talked about the 4 Ps, Bina, as you know, profile, people, process, and performance. So if you want to know a bit more, I can talk about it a little bit later on. And also there's that recorded session from earlier on the week, which we can refer to. But with that, I'll pause there and hand it back over to you, Bina.
Thank you, Amtadur. That was fantastic. I'd like to take a minute to tell everybody that we are streaming live on YouTube and on Facebook at this point. If you are watching on YouTube or Facebook and want to participate in the networking part of our event, please immediately join us on Zoom. We do have 25 seats open at this point, but we are stepping into the networking part. So if you do join in a little late, I'll try to include you as well. Now, I would like to also mention that if you want to build your network, now is the best time. Please make sure that you take the opportunity right after you come back from the networking part to share your LinkedIn profiles in the chat box, and everybody can connect with whoever they please. It's great if you can put in a note, but if you don't put in a note and this invitation is being sent right now within this time frame, everybody would understand that it is coming from this particular event. All right, over to you, Amir, for our very interesting part of the session of this event.
Okay, thanks very much. So, hey folks, howdy. So the next session is the speed networking session. So some of the house rules. We're going to have about 5 sessions. They're going to be about 6-ish minutes each. Mentors, they'll be managing the time. So everyone's going to have about a minute. So if you get cut off, that's okay. This is a safe space and this is a good opportunity for you to practice. You're going to get some quick feedback, a couple of highlights, and then we'll move on to the next person. So I'd encourage you to make mistakes and learn. This is good. You don't have to be perfect. And this is the whole process. And at the end of each of the rounds, you'll see a little bit of a countdown, and then you'll know you'll get into the next round. So it'll be a random shuffle, and then we'll regroup. So please make sure for this part, the video portion of your Zoom is on. And you might have gotten this in advance. If not, I'll just kind of quickly go over. So in the first round is going to be, what's your elevator pitch? Who are you? Tell us about yourself. The second round is going to be, what's your biggest job search challenge? The third round will be your biggest, or let's just say, what's a significant career accomplishment? Because let's face it, that's a great one to have in your pocket whenever you're going to do an interview. The next one, the fourth round will be one thing you want to do better in your next interview. There may be 1,000, but pick one and something that's significant for you, and maybe you can get some great advice on that from us. And also the last one, number 5, will be what do you need help with? Everybody needs help with something. So think of something that you need help with, and maybe you can get some great advice. So I guess that's the house rules and the topics that are going to happen in each round. And what will happen next is you'll get randomly put into these Zoom rooms, and we'll go from there.
Thank you, Amir. That was absolutely fantastic. For this part of our networking, I am going to request every single one of you, please, to switch on your webcam and unmute yourself so you are able to communicate. In some groups, you're going to have 4. In some groups, you're going to have 5 people. So I'm going to send you out to the breakout rooms. Enjoy yourself and see you back when you come back. Welcome back. You guys having fun so far?
Yes.
Survived it, Meena, again. Great.
And the 10 minutes was also not too short.
So who said 10 minutes was enough time?
Oh,
that was fast.
You can ask
That was
Ruchika
so
and Ankur.
1 hour each.
Oh my goodness.
All right. So we're ready for the next part of our session. But before we do that, I want each and every one of you to take your cell phone and take a picture of your screen, post it on LinkedIn. 1, tag Destination CEO. 2, share your LinkedIn profile in the chat box so that everybody can connect with you. I'm giving you guys 3 minutes to do that. This is my 3 minutes to all of you. Step 1, take your cell phone, take a picture, post it on LinkedIn, tag Destination CEO. 2, share your profile in the chat box so everybody can connect with everybody. Go.
And make sure you're connected with Mina.
Yes. Most important.
Is it at destination, Mina?
At Destination Space CEO. Yes.
I see you.
Hey. I am so excited. You guys all having fun?
Yes.
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 So being here the first time, it wasn't that bad, was it?
Not that bad. It was great.
Yeah.
It was great. Thank you,
I'd say
Sina.
it was a great platform. Thank you.
Pleasure. My pleasure. So the picture's done?
Yes.
Yes?
Struggling here. I've never done this before, so there we go.
Remember, it's a contest, and we want to help you all build your network. Like Mark says, your network is your net worth. So let's build the net worth. Right, Mark?
Good, yeah.
Yeah, remember.
You remember that, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
And we're back live streaming on YouTube and on Facebook. So this is fun. We are going to have a lot of participation. And the next part of our session, and we are going to welcome back Amir. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Yes.
Amir has been absolutely fantastic, right? Keeping us on track, giving us our questions.
Yes.
Thank you, Amir, for that. Where are you?
All right, I'm here. Thank you, Meena. So just a quick reminder, everyone, participants at this point, please close your webcams, and then you'll be able to see the mentors a lot better. Yeah, make sure you share your LinkedIn profile in the chat. So that's fantastic. If you have any questions, at the end we're going to do question and answer. So you put your question in the chat, and if it doesn't get answered, then we'll look to get that emailed out to you. So don't despair, right? You'll get an answer. But just we want everyone to kind of have an opportunity to speak. So that being said, we'll go into the third session. Our next bunch of speakers. And, just as a reminder, we'll be doing a quick self-introduction, a career lesson, and then a tangible takeaway. So if that's good, I think what we'll do is I'll go ahead. I'll go first. Yeah, I am Amir Syed. I have worked in telecommunications technology companies for the last 20 plus years. I was in customer service, technical support, second level support, IVR web care team. Most notably, I was on a social media support team, which was really interesting because a few years ago, not a lot of people were doing support over social media. So that's something I got to sort of pioneer in the organization I was in, and it was fascinating. So something I really enjoyed. Then I moved on to another company, just managing people, and that's something I've been doing since about 2007. So I really like managing and coaching people. That's something I enjoy. And now I'm just doing a little consulting and looking for my next gig. I'm a lifelong learner, so I have a degree in occupational health and safety from Ryerson. When I graduated, I did something completely different. I went into telecom. So then, I did the telecom certificate from Ryerson, and then as I started managing people, I did the HR certificate from Ryerson. So lifelong learning, podcasts, books, actual courses, 1 night a week. It was worth the sacrifice, and you get a lot out of your career. So, I love science fiction, and I'm in the middle of 3 kids, so I think naturally I'm a peacemaker. So that's why I gravitate towards support type of roles. My career lesson will be try to understand the impact of your work. So there have been times where I've spent 2 seconds on something, or let's say 2 hours on some kind of project. And I go to my boss goes, yeah, okay. And they spend 2 seconds on it. And there's been other times where I spend 2 seconds on something, and then I go to my boss, and my boss looks at it, and we spend 2 hours going over this thing. And so I think the key here is looking at the impact, because sometimes you do a project, you're working on something, you fall in love with it. It becomes a mission. So understand the impact of it. And sometimes if it's a thing you're working on doesn't contribute to the team, help the organization, improve a process, maybe it's just something that you've fallen in love with but doesn't really have an impact, maybe it's worth abandoning that and focusing on stuff that does have an impact, and then that's the best use of your time. And then my intangible takeaway for everyone will be examples, examples, examples. So many times in interviews or on resumes, people say, like, I have great customer service skills. Yeah, so, but if you say I have great customer service skills, and this is represented by 37 surveys where I had 98.5, 98.5.2, not even a real number, but you know what I'm saying, percent. And so that proves what you're saying. So prove it with an example, with a metric, with a situation, and that's a lot more authentic, and I think that's a lot more legitimate. So that's me. I will hand it over to Edward now. He's next in line. So take it away, Edward.
So I have been in a few sessions with Amir, and that tends to be his next line every time we were on one of these sessions. So thank you, Amir. So my name is Edward. I have been in the IT space for over 30 years, and it doesn't reflect my age. I started when I was 12, so if anyone's counting. I have worked in both a little bit in the telco, in the telecom industry, and I've also worked in the oil and gas space. I enjoy both. One of the things that I find as a career success, and I always say this to others that I work with, is take risk. Usually, if you take on something that nobody else wants to do, it's risky. It's high risk, high rewards. I believe it's a good way to go. But it also lets you stand out. It shows that you're willing to take the chances, stick your neck out, and take on the challenges that exist. Very few times in your career you will fail, and I say that not because failure is a bad thing, but I think you will always have colleagues and others within your network, which we keep talking about, to help you through this. And I think one of the things I learned, and I believe, is being able to reach out to my network and ask questions and ask for help. I could be a whatever leader that I am. It doesn't mean that I cannot ask someone that worked for me or used to work for me for help in getting things done. And I think that's a big learning for me. And one of my career successes is that Amir mentioned he's a lifelong learner. I'm a lifelong asking questions and reaching out to my network and my friends to get guidance and assistance to help to solve problems. But take risk. There's lots of rewards on it. One of the takeaways that I always look at is when you answer questions in an interview, be honest in your response. Sometimes, one person asked a question about areas of improvement. Use it as a positive, as being okay to say that I have places of improvement. I am not the best. I'm not perfect, although I'd like to believe that, but I am not perfect. And it's okay to be able to be vulnerable in interviews, because I think it gives you that human side of an interview, which to me I look for when I do interviews. I know it's a tough thing to do, but I truly encourage it. So that's who I am, and a bit about me. Amira, I'm not sure who's the next in line.
That would be Sandeep. Thank you, Ed. Thank you, Mir.
Thank you. It's always great to be, when you're with people who are doing this for such a long time. It at times becomes easy because most of your pieces have been told by someone, so which is great. So you have to really think to see which ones you don't want to. So from an experience point of view, I was telling Meena in my LinkedIn live session with her, it becomes very difficult for me to say I'm a banker, though I am one for last 18 years. But I put forward myself as a more of business development and a product management professional, spanning across 24, 25 years, 4 industries, and with internationally working in different, mostly based out of India and Canada. But in my current role, I do work very much internationally with all the major countries of the globe. When I talk about what exactly really brings the passion side of things that I do, which is other than my work area, which is more to do with customer centricity and customer segmentation, profitability, and stuff like that. But what comes in the most important piece on that pillar is people management. And when I say people management, is not really management, but I think people development. And that automatically gives me a lot of development of my own, because what Edward was just talking about, that it is not, learning is not just one-way traffic, it's both-way traffic. And also supporting newcomers, as we all have been in that journey, is also one of the other passion that I have. And as Sumit was mentioning, along with Sumit, we do have a mentoring group in which we do that. But individually, if anybody wants to reach out to me at any point of time, I do give that support too. Career takeaway. See, I started knocking doors and selling newspaper subscriptions and managing businesses across the globe, working with global leaders. I think it's all about perception. It's all about how you see things. And some that Edward said, what Amit said, I think I agree with both of them. Take risks. There's a very famous saying, I always use it, that take risks in life. If you succeed, become a leader. If you fail, become a guide. So there is nothing to lose, right? At no ends. So that's something that I always believe, and that's why I have always taken that risk. The other thing which I believe, and I always talk about this story of the monkeys. I don't know how many have gone through it. There's a story about monkeys where monkeys are put into a room, a particular behavior had been challenged, and then after 3-4 rounds, when all the monkeys have been changed, the behavior had already changed, and nobody knows why. So that happens in all of our careers. So please ask questions. Don't just get into something and just take it because something was being told. So ask that question, that why, and ask that logical question to that. And that would be one of the key elements of my piece. And the other thing which I would say, and this is because I have been myself a passionate, impulsive business development professional myself, with age, what I've also learned, and because some of you are newcomers in the country, you should also learn that, because you're in a different environment. Don't take impulsive jumps. Don't take impulsive decisions. Don't put yourself under too much pressure suddenly because you've applied 5 jobs and you have not got a single call. Take a step back, give it an overnight thinking, and then relook at it. A lot of time when you do that, you have a very different view. So I would strongly recommend that, because the group that at least is here, you are all people who have 7 to 10 years of experience. So very important to that. The other piece, which as a finishing point, I would have 3 takeaways. One, I always say this, Sumit knows, that make the iron hot by striking. The iron will not be hot at all point of time. In fact, never will it be hot. Today's scenario, in the COVID scenario, it is not hot, it is absolutely cold. So make the iron hot by striking. So go on striking it. Don't stop. Okay, that's number 1. Number two, I would say that remember that when you are hitting it, you learn where to hit it, because you just need one job. You don't need 100 jobs. You need one job. But all the effort that you put in to develop yourself and understand the job, that is a much bigger piece. So, the other analogy that I give you, when you're really throwing a bow and arrow, we're using an arrow, it's all about pulling it back. That is what is more critical. So focus on that. And the last one, which I would say, is remember, you are selling what somebody wants to buy. It is not on you, on what you want to sell. So you have to understand what the hiring manager is looking for, solve his problem or her problem, then automatically you solve yours. These are the 3 points that I would leave with all of you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sandeep. This was fantastic. And for everybody wondering, if you haven't made notes, remember we are live streaming on YouTube and on Facebook. So please feel free to watch the recorded version of this and make all the notes that you need. So over to you, Sayali. Thank you.
All right. Hi, everyone. This is Siley. I'm already connected with a few of you, and yeah, it's always great to be at these events. So I came to Canada as a student. I was studying at Humber College, and like most of our students here, I was in job search mode. In addition, I also went through a career transition. My background before coming to Canada was into media, mass communications, and along my course here, I decided I wanted to get into recruitment, and I didn't have any prior experience. The reason I'm bringing this up is I know a lot of people are in similar shoes, wanting to transition or coming here as students and starting out. So that's why I wanted to go over how I did it with Meena's help, of course. Meena's teachings were very valuable to me. I went about into networking mode. I would develop a list of companies that I wanted to work for, and I adopted a very strategic approach. I would go on LinkedIn, networking events, coffee interviews. It did take time. It took me, I think, 6 months to find my first job in Canada. But yeah, that was 5 years ago. And here I am ever since. So I work in an agency environment. I'm an agency recruiter, which means I partner with clients to hire for their companies. And I also work with job seekers to help them identify career opportunities for themselves. So now I'm on the other side, having been a job seeker, going through that experience, I am now on the other side in the hiring manager seat, right? So that's a little bit about me. What I would say in terms of a career lesson is don't wait to be in job search mode to start your networking skills, to start building your network. It takes time to cultivate a good network, and you don't want to be reaching out to people just because you need something or just when you need something, right? No matter how well-meaning they are, it's not really appreciated. So make sure you're checking in with your network, you're consciously, strategically connecting with people, intentionally keeping in touch over a period of time, so that when the time does come that you have to reach out for whatever reason, it doesn't just have to be a job. People are more than happy and willing to help you. They know you, they've worked with you, or they've interacted with you all these years, and they'll be more than happy to help out. So that's one thing. In terms of key takeaways, I would talk about what candidates can do in interviews. I will suggest do a deep dive into the company you're interviewing with. And it does not mean just a surface website visit, right? Really go deep. What is the company doing? Go on their social media, look at their people. How long have they been around? If possible, connect with people in that company to have an edge over other candidates interviewing, right? Look at their competitors, know what their suppliers are doing, right? If you're in IT, the companies in tech, download their apps, have some comments about them to talk about in your interviews. All that really helps you stand out as opposed to other candidates who are not really doing that. And then my last takeaway would be always tie your experience to the bigger picture. A lot of people, we talked about this in the sessions as well. When you're talking about your experience, always describe in layman terms, how is that helping your company, your clients, your customers, right? Amar talked a little bit about customer service. Always put it in simple terms. I was in this role that was helping my company get more sales or drive more growth on their e-commerce platform. what have you. It doesn't have to be a lot of technical jargon, simple terms about how you created value for your company, clients, or customers. Yeah, those would be my takeaways. Thanks, Meena.
Thanks, Sally. That was beautiful. Oren, you're next.
Hi, everyone. My name's Oren Johnson. I've been in IT for close to 30 odd years, in various roles and in various industries. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I have started a few organizations in the past. Now I'm a part-time lecturer, sort of a professor at Humber College, teaching big data. So I've become involved in this organization with Meena primarily about 10 years ago, because I hired a bunch of students from Humber, probably about 10 to 15 students in a given year. So one of the things that I would like to talk about with regards to most of the people here is that most of you are immigrants. I'm an immigrant to this country, and we face different scenarios, and we have different perceptions about how we get jobs here. One of the key things that is resonating, or you need to be able to at least address, is how you are able to manipulate or maneuver yourself from whatever facet that you have in terms of a job. So the ability to be flexible in terms of the outcome, okay? Because that's very hard, you know. We come from different areas where we specify, banking or HR, and we want to continue in that role because that's our career. The dynamic way in which society operates here in Canada, it's a kind of a hit and miss. So preparedness in terms of your mental state to accept different roles is something key that you need to be able to address in moving forward, because it plays a part of your whole persona, your mental health, in terms of, you don't want to get yourself sort of all tied up with, this is what I want. Some of the speakers before me addressed some key points with regards to interviews and what you should do and things that you should try and sort of emphasize to set you apart from other individuals. And in my estimation, at least one of them is very important, and that's knowing the company business. Okay. Most interviews always end with, do you have any questions to ask, etc., etc. I would take that opportunity to demonstrate to that organization that I know something about their business. And I'll demonstrate that through asking a particular question that would sort of address a problem in their business. So that would then, in my view, give the organization something to look at from you as an individual, determining that, well, you know what, if I'm looking for a programmer, I've seen 10 people with Python skills. I've seen 15 people with SQL skills. I've seen maybe, another 3 with Oracle skills. But what I haven't seen is somebody who can talk to me, that IT person who can talk to me about my business. That, in my estimation, resonates a lot. That would sort of give the direct hirer some perspective that you not only can have the skills to do the turning of the knobs, but you also understand what it is that is required for my business. And that is one of the key takeaways I would leave with individuals, regardless of whatever job you're looking for, whether it's in HR, in finance. If you understand their business rather than, just straight accounting for as an accountant, You can talk specifically, for example, if it's a gambling business, you can talk about, how odds are made or whatever the case may be, to demonstrate a willingness to understand. That takes a edge off of just the sort of straight skill sets that are required. So that's the one takeaway I'll leave with you in terms of doing the research, but also using that opportunity towards the end of that interview session where they ask you, well, would you like to ask a question? I would turn it around by not only asking a question, but I frame it in such a way that I'm talking about a particular area of their business that could a problem that I can solve. So that's it for me. From my experiences, because that's what I hire for when I hire for my business, even though my business is IT. Okay, I look for certain aspects of how people consult, okay, their demeanor, etc., and talk about consulting in particular. And I know that they can go out there and consult on my behalf. So those are kind of things that I would look at rather than just the pure skill sets of what I know SQL or React or Java or Python inside out.
Thank you, Oren.
Thank
That
you.
was very insightful. Thank you. So from professor to the internship expert, let's go to Leo.
Hi, everyone. It's Leo here. Even though I'm not newcomers, I graduated university in Canada like a long time ago. I did have difficulties to find opportunities after graduation. I think many people, they say, oh, if you grow up here, if you came here earlier and you have graduated from Canada school, then it's easier for you because you already have some network. But to me, it's like maybe because of I'm the visible minorities and there's some stereotype in the market. It wasn't easy for me to find my first HR experience in Canada as well. So I was in your shoes before as well. Now I have 7 years of experience in human resources. I have 7 years experience in nonprofit organization now, which help newcomers to find opportunities. So I think most of the job seekers, they have problems like because of the different cultures. Like I understand like in Canada, the job search environment is totally different than those like in your home country, because some countries, they really rely on online platform, like you just send the application and then the employer will call you. But unfortunately in Canada, definitely you heard so many other mentors talk about how important the networking, how to present yourself, how to sell. Like you have to make yourself like a salesperson. How to sell yourself is something uncomfortable to most of the newcomers because it's totally new culture and it's totally new ideas, right? But the good thing is like you have this platform, you have Mina like to help you to go through this process, which is a good thing. I have one career lesson, maybe it's a negative lesson for me, is that I know many people, they talk about networking, and myself, I'm not a very talkative person. I'm more like an introvert person. But it takes me some time to reach this point now. It's like I'm okay to talk to anyone, especially like so many people. And thank you, Mina. Like when I met her, like you can ask her, like, oh wow, Leo, like tell me about yourself. Maybe I can just only tell. I can only just say 1 or 2, 3 sentences, and that's it. So Mina definitely can relate to that. But my lesson is like prepare yourself. If you are introvert, that's fine. If you are afraid to meet many strangers, that's fine. Just learn the skills, get the right mentor. If you're not comfortable, then don't push yourself like to go to the event, because I had the experience like, okay, I thought it's a good idea to go to like an in-person networking event, but end up it's like I didn't talk to anyone, and then also it's very daunting experience. It's like when you are looking at the strangers, like, and then you don't know what to say, and then somehow it makes the situation very awkward, and then end up like you feel bad about yourself. So but for me, I take that lesson is like, okay, I have to prepare. I have to prepare myself to find some topics I can talk to people, maybe just talk about some current events, or we can talk about some like other maybe hobbies, something like that. Just prepare when you go to the events. And some tangible takeaway is that I understand now we are in the society right now, we have so many negative energy right now, but just believe yourself. You need to have confidence. You believe that you can do it. And even though I know job searching is a very difficult situation for many of you, but the most important is about your mental health. If you one day you don't have to force yourself to submit like 100 applications. If you want to take a break, like to make your mental health better, just do that, because you cannot force yourself to do too much. You just need to have good strategies, you have a good network, then you will reach your goal and you will reach your success. So remember, job search is important, but like your mental health is also important as well. So I just want everyone to, in this negative situation, like to be positive, and one day your dream will come true. Thank you.
Thank you, Leo. Thank you so much. I am unmuted. I know we've gone a little over time, but then we started a little late. So we have two more speakers, and then it's Q&A. So I hope you guys have your Q&As prepared. And mentors, thank you so much for your time, and we'll really appreciate if you can give us 10 more minutes, please. So over to you, Stephanie.
Thank you, Mina. And I love everything that Leo just shared. And I'll follow with this, take an active role in your job search, whether that is, doing 100 applications one day and 5 the next. Just be aware of where you're at in that process. Don't beat yourself up over not applying too much. But always be in the mindset to research, again, as many of the mentors have mentioned, research organizations and companies that you would like to work for, research roles in various companies. You may want to have a specific job title, but that means something different from one company to another. So definitely do your research and take an active role in your job search there. So my name's Stephanie, and I have about 7 years of experience in the media industry. I've been in media production, in broadcasting, and in editing post-production as well. I've been in hiring situations where I've been a production manager, so hiring freelancers and contracts for various productions in corporate situations, as well as media production and broadcast. I have worked for companies such as Loblaw, Rogers, the Shopping Channel, CBC, and other post-production houses such as DHX and Blue Ant Media. And also I've worked at Humber College as well in media production, and working there with a lot of creative projects. So in my career, I've been able to take my tangible media experience and use it in corporate, in the corporate industry, in where I've worked at Loblaw as well in doing media production there. I've worked at Humber College. So again, educational institution. I've worked in broadcasting in companies such as Rogers and CBC. So I've been able to translate a lot of the skills that I've had across the different industries. And that's one of the career lessons I have, is that no matter where you find yourself in your career journey, It might be you're in a job transition situation, you're in a company transition situation. Take that active step in being involved in your career process. You know, the best thing that may happen to you is that you change to a different company and you see how it works in that company, or changing industries, but maybe in the same job title. But take an active role in your learning and in your development in your career process. Always be eager to step in and help out in any project or any team you're involved in. People will remember your eagerness to help, and then when recommendations come along, they'll be an active part of your networking circle just because of your willingness to step in. Work towards, you know, people talk about 2-year, 5-year plans, and right now, no one planned for the situation we're in right now, but definitely take an active role in creating goals for yourself. For myself now, I'm finding myself journaling more and writing down some goals. I was able to write 300 goals for myself, and just through that visualization and writing those goals down, I'm able to now, as I go through my journey, whether it's career, personal, financial, I'll be able to look back and see how many of those goals I wrote down, how many of them have I accomplished over a period of time, and use that for goal setting, and as well as keeping myself on track. Anytime you're in a situation, whether you're networking specifically for a job or just to get some information with other mentors or people in your circle, always ask if there's an opportunity for you to fill a gap or a hole that they may have. And Oren mentioned this, you know, how can you solve some business problems that they may have? How are you the best fit? Don't just talk about it. Show that you have been a person that's been a problem solver, and that you've gone above and beyond to create success for other businesses. So that would be my career lesson. But just some quick takeaways is that always work on your portfolio and your work. I mean, this may include updating your resume and polishing it, and have other people and mentors look over your resume. It may look like that. When we're in the media industry, we always have bodies of work, video, audio, written works that we're working on. So keep up on those projects and updating your portfolio, resume, and websites there. And also, whenever you're in even an interview or a networking situation, be humble and be authentic. I know Leo mentioned he's an introvert, and you wouldn't know that, but I was very much an introvert as well. But when I learned more about my story and how to communicate it, it naturally came out in a storytelling way. I may be in media, but I'm very much a behind the camera person. So that was the jump for me. But being able to know myself, know my resume well, know my body of work, enabled me to be authentic about my experience. And for me, it was really hard in job interview situations to highlight my accomplishments because I was very humble about them. And I was just really happy to be a part of the team. So that was a learning part for me. I know Leo mentioned some negative learnings, but for me, it was about, you know, learning to turn up the humility and be able to focus on, you know, your accomplishments and how those accomplishments can help you and leverage you in your next role in your career journey. So that's a few minutes of what I want to share.
Thank you so much, Stephanie. Anuradha, are you still here with us?
Yeah, so this is Anu, and I'm from the financial IT background. And I've over 15 years of experience mentoring, coaching, and guiding the teams, delivering projects and programs in the financial banking and the fintech space. All of you have said so much about networking sessions and giving information. I'm the last one, and I kind of support and I kind of echo whatever everyone else has said. I'm going to make it really short. For me, job search is a very simple process. How I see it is as a process, and I see it as a mindset. We all, like everybody here, has so much of experience. Even if you don't have an experience, you are just a student. you still have skill sets. So the important part of the job search is, uh, A, what are you looking for? And then just aligning what you're looking for in your skill set. When you're writing your resume, highlight your skills and align it to the role that you're looking for. So once you have that, you're equipped to have the tools to go into the job market and look for a job. The second step is getting your resume in the right hands. Once you have these two things tackled, A is building the right resume, putting the right skill sets on it, and then your resume is in the right hands. Right hands means the person who is looking for skills that you have, who you can actually contribute to the company, going to call in you for the interview. 70% of your job is done when you're called in for the interview. Once you're there on the interview, next step is just to convince the hiring manager is that this is the person I'm looking for. And your focus and your entire energy should go on convincing them that I'm the right candidate. And once you're hired, made the right choice is what you're there for. And then you have the job. And I'm saying this out of my own experience. I was recently finished my contract and I was looking for a job and have a job now. I've started my new gig and that's how I see it. Yeah, and that's just my takeaway. Only one takeaway. Just believe in yourself. Be convinced that there are jobs in the market, and if somebody else can get it, why cannot you? Just need one job. Only one job is what you need. So like hundreds of job and just one job, and you'll get it. Believe in yourself is what I feel.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Anu. Really appreciate it. And our final speaker of the night, Mayuri.
Thank you, Meena.
Are you there? Yes.
Yes, I'm here. So I will have a short introduction, but I'll give a little bit more on my takeaway. I'm a recruiter for different sectors. I'm an agency recruiter. I do recruit for banking, telecom, and public sector for technical roles, architect, developers to financial, and also HR and admin roles. I would definitely want to talk a little bit more on my takeaway. That would be choosing the right mentor. I would definitely say because there is a huge pool of mentors here. If you can choose one right mentor by joining Destination CEO, it would be one right step ahead for you in your because it is a true story of my own. I was the part of Destination CEO 6-week program, and I found my mentor in Sayali. She guided me in landing my job. So finding the right mentor is the first step because everybody is there to guide you, but the right mentor will definitely guide you to what you want. I would definitely say few things to see. One is the value. What can you bring in and the mentor bring in for your growth? So look for the value. You both should have a similar values, not personal principles or values in terms of experience, in terms of their path, in terms of their journey. Would that match what you're looking for? The second one would be a communication. You should have a really good understanding because sometimes what happens if there is too much of a cultural gap or too much of some other kind of communication gap, your examples or your situation might not translate exactly to the mentor. So somebody who can understand where you are. The third one is willingness. Maybe somebody is really successful in what they're doing, but you should also see how willing they are to help you grow in what you want. Fourth one is define your expectations very clearly, what you want from the mentor, so that the mentor can know that whether they can provide what you're looking for in value terms. The last one is the personality. As many of them said, if you're an introvert, if you're an extrovert, if the mentee is introvert and the mentor is extremely extrovert, and they are looking for a great initiative from the mentee. They're expecting something out of extraordinary which you're not able to do. It will become a little more frustrating on your end. So that is where the communication and personality should match. So I would definitely say finding the right mentor would be a good start. The final takeaway would be you can save the chat in the Zoom one if somebody is missed out on the links or LinkedIn links which everybody have posted. You're not able to connect within this short time. You can save your chat on your desktop and later go back and connect with everyone. So thank you so much, Meena, for the opportunity. Anybody can connect with me for resume review, interviewing skills, or any other way I can help you. I'm available.
Thank you so much, Mayuri. Guys, that's a wrap. It was, it was so fantastic. I learned so much and got to know so many of you. I hope that you have taken the opportunity to share your LinkedIn links. If not, I do hope that you have taken the opportunity to take a picture. Like I said, we are having a contest so that the three top people who get the most views and likes get a win, a one-on-one with a mentor of your choice. All right. So finally, before I let you all go, and I know we are 20 minutes over time, we do have Saturday classes, which are open for 30 days. So Destination CEO's 6-week program, the next cohort is going to start on June 1st. On Sunday afternoons from 12 to 2, we do have orientation sessions. I do request and recommend everybody to follow our Destination CEO's LinkedIn page and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. We do come live quite frequently. Sally, Leo, and myself are planning to host a regular weekly LinkedIn live sessions. We are still trying to figure out the day and the time. So you will be seeing a lot more of us on live sessions and on YouTube streaming. So if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please connect with us on our LinkedIn page, um, connect with me directly so you can get an alert. I would like to open up the floor. Thank everybody, all the mentors, for joining us. My great support team who has been with me from the start to the end. I acknowledge all of you. Don't have enough words for gratitude, but you know that you'll be receiving emails from me. There will be a survey sent out to everybody asking you for feedback. So please feel free to be honest and give me your feedback so that we can do more of these sessions more frequently. And you know what? These are our. If we didn't do it, we wouldn't know the challenges we're going to face. So I think personally, I think it was a success. But love to hear how we could do better. And thank you. Does anybody have any questions? Does anybody want to take the floor, say something before we close? We will have close down at 9:30, so it is 9:23. If you had enough of us, you can leave us as well. Any questions? Anybody? You can unmute yourself and ask. No? All right.
I don't have a question. I just like to say thank you very much for putting this on. This has been a very, as much as the information that we've imparted as mentors, I've learned a lot just by listening to everyone and their struggles and the way in which they can sort of address some of it. So it's a learning situation for all of us. And I thank you very much for putting this on and inviting me. Thank you.
Thank you, Oren. Thank you for
Yeah,
joining
thanks,
us.
Mina.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Mark.
Meena.
Thank
Very
you.
much. Thanks, team.
Thank you, all the mentors. Thank you, all the
Yeah.
Thank you,
mentors.
everyone. It was really nice to hear from the mentors, and I can clearly relate that we all come to Canada and go through this phase, and listening to all of you is much more satisfying, and it gives a sense of belongingness in terms of having someone as a mentor who would be able to guide and help during this time. Thank you.
I want to acknowledge the people that have joined us from India and also from Vancouver. Thank you guys for joining us. I know that in India it was 4:30 a.m. So few of you have woken up in the middle of the night to join us. So really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Mina.
Thanks,
Have a
everyone.
great day, Mina.
Thank you, all the mentors. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.